Yo, hi friends. Over last few episodes, I've been showing amazing capabilities of Copilot, Copilot topics, Copilot agents, entities, AI prompts from Power Apps, whereby you are calling these prompts from Copilot and doing amazing things. So today's topic is a very interesting one when I'm going to try to show you how can you pass on variables from one topic to another, how can you hand off calls from one topic to another by showing you an example. Say for example you have a sales order and you have created this sales order using one topic, and in another topic you are going to create the sales order lines to the paid sales order. So when you are going to do this, the first topic is basically creating the sales order and generating the sales order number, and in the child topic you are passing on this variable, the sales order number, as a variable to the child topic, and you are then going to keep calling this child topic to create the sales lines and pass on the sales order number and incrementally increase the sales line number. So it's an amazing feature of Copilot, whereby you can do a lot of things. You can hand off calls, you can pass on variables, you can do a lot of amazing capabilities you have. And just let me show you how you can do this through this demo. Yo, I'm coming back to my Dynamics 365's landing page and I'm launching the Copilot sidecar, and I'm just telling my Copilot like sales order creation. So it's understanding, like basically I'm asking it to create a sales order and it's asking me to put in all the details that I need to create the sales order, like the legal entity, customer number, date, site, warehouse details, item, ID details, and everything what I need for a sales order creation. So let me give all these details. Like I'm saying, can you create a sales order for the customer, this customer, for the site 1, warehouse 1, 2, currency this, and for this date, date I'm putting it as any date, like 18 0 to 2025 for the item 1000 with the quantity this and unit price this for the legal entity USMF. So when I say this, the Copilot is going to take a while to create the first sales order header and the first line. So the sales order header and the line is going to be created from one topic, as I was saying, and then following it's going to call. So it's saying the sales order number got generated like this. Do you want to add more lines to it? So when I am saying this, okay, so it is saying like what are the lines, what are the details of the lines that you want to create. So I'm telling the lines details should be like this. Let me copy this and let me give this details here, like the 90 days of the item ID is this and the quantity is equal to, say for example 30, and unit price is equal to anything I'm giving like this, and unit of measure as EA, that is each. When I say this, let me give it a shot and let's see what happens. So it's going to create the lines, it's going to attach the lines to the original header, and in a while it's going to ask me back the same question, like the lines got added successfully, you want to add more lines. So if I say okay, it is going to repeat the same sequence. So how this is done, let me show you the process. And let me start by defining an AI prompt which I have named like this: create sales order layout from user input. And in the prompt, I am asking the prompt to create a JSON out of this user input, this variable sales order input. The date should be in JSON format. Remove all semicolons and all other unnecessary responses from the JSON keyword and JSON keywords from the response. The response should be like this. Like I have also given a response that actually the prompt should give back to me. And in this variable, what is this variable? Sales order input. In this variable, I'm defining this variable like this: create a sales order for the customer this, the site 1, warehouse this, and the date. So like this, I have defined the user input. So if I test the prompt, so it should give me a result like this, where I should be getting the JSON component, the JSON response that the prompt should give me. And you will note, like as I asked it that the JSON format, the date should be in JSON format. That's what exactly it has done. It has transformed the date as a JSON response date. And I am going to use this, I'm going to call this prompt from my Copilot. Let me show you how. And this is where I have defined the topic, the topic for sales order creation. So I have named the topic as create sales order through NLP. I have created this inside this Copilot for finance and operation apps. So inside this, I have defined certain triggering phrases like sales order creation. Can you help me create a sales order? I can create more phrases like this which can make it understand. So I am asking it to create a sales order. And when it understands, when it gets input from user like this, it's going to ask a question back to the user, like sure, can you specify the legal entity, customer number, dates, all these things, that whatever ingredients that you need to create, the basic ingredients, not all the ingredients, the basic ingredients that you need to create a sales order, header and the lines. So when you have provided the Copilot with the answer, it is basically saving this in a variable called sales order details. Inside this sales order details, it's a local variable which I can show you like this. Basically, it's a local variable, and so it's a local variable. Like as you can see, it's restricted to the as a topic, not as a global. And when I am in the next step, what I'm doing is that I'm getting this sales order value input from the user's input, and I'm then passing this on to a flow. I'm calling a flow from here. So basically what it's doing is that it is calling this flow which I've defined it here. It's a very simple flow. In the first step, it is basically receiving the sales order sentence, the sentence to create the sales order as a plain and simple sentence. And then it is calling the GPT prompt which I showed you previously. It is just calling this GPT prompt, and in the input I am passing on the input that it is getting to the Copilot, and I am calling this create sales order layout from user input. This is the prompt which I showed you previously. And in the next step, what it's doing is that I have already get hold of the JSON response. I've already got hold of the JSON response which I showed you previously. Like it is going to get this response as a JSON outcome, and I've copied this and I have pasted it here in my sample payload schema. And in the prompt, I am basically sending the prediction output text from the previous text. From the previous step, I am basically getting this value, and I'm passing it on in the next phase. And in the next steps are very simple and very very mundane. So where I'm getting hold of a token and I'm passing it to the sales order creation HTTP post. I'm making to this endpoint sales order header v3, and I'm passing on all the variables, that is the legal entity which I'm getting from the response of the first JSON order. I'm getting hold of these variables from here, and I'm also getting the request receipt date and site ID and confirmed receipt date. All these things basically I'm passing on. Currency code I'm also passing on. The customer code I'm also passing on. Shipping date I'm also passing on. All these things I'm passing on. The warehouse, and finally the customer, the ordering account number, and the requested shipping date. So all these things I'm passing on, and basically I am asking a sales order to create by calling to this endpoint sales order headers v3. And not to mention, I'm also passing this bearer token which I'm getting from the previous step. So once I have done this, the response that I'm going to get essentially is nothing but the sales ID. The sales ID is basically it is once again a kind of response from this previous step, and I'm just getting hold of the sales ID by assigning it to a variable. And this variable, what is it doing is that it's simply getting hold of the sales order header. I'm just parsing the sales order header, and then I'm defining this variable called initialized variable sales ID, and I am getting hold of the sales order number from the body of the sales order header creation, and from there I'm getting the sales order number. How about that? And then I am also getting hold of the sales quantity. Sales quantity, basically I am getting the sales quantity. I need the sales quantity for later references, for later use. And finally, I am also getting hold of the unit price. So here also unit price, I'm calling the unit price, I'm getting the value of the unit price from here. And then I'm finally calling the sales order line. Sales order line, for that I'm calling the sales order line V3, which is once again our data entity endpoint. And here I'm passing the legal entity, which legal entity I want to create this sales line. The sales order number, I am passing this here as in the body itself. The site, warehouse, sales ID I am passing here. The unit price I am passing here, which I have bought from the previous step. And I'm mentioning that it's a sales equation with the sales order, not sales journal. And the sales quantity I'm passing, the date I'm also passing as the request shipping date, and all the necessary ingredients that I need to create the line I am passing here. The currency code I'm also passing here, and the shipping site ID I'm also passing here. All these things once I have done, I am responding back to the Copilot with the sales ID that I have created in this step. So this is where it is going to come back to my topic, the initial topic, which from where I'm calling this, and coming back to here, and I am printing the sales order number that got generated was is equal to this response variable which I am getting from this invocation of the flow. And then I'm asking the user back, do you want to add more lines? And this is a consent type of variable. This is an entity, it's a custom entity which I have created at OK or no. It's a custom entity. And I am saying like if it is OK, if you want to add more lines, or if you don't want to add more lines. If yes, then if the response is OK, or if it is yes, then it should redirect to once again to another what is this? This is nothing but another topic. This is where this amazing trick is there. You are calling another topic, which is creation of the sales lines, and you are passing on the sales ID which you have just created. Along with that, you are also passing on the sales order details, which is nothing but this response which you initially got from the user. So you are passing this on as variables, as parameters, and you are calling this next step, which is add more line, add more sales line. If you view topic, if you click on this view topic, you will be able to see what is this. So this is nothing but I have designed this as add more lines. So whenever you are going to say add more lines or create more lines, it is going to encounter this kind of phrases. It will understand that you are talking about creation of sales lines with the original sales order. And then basically defining the variable called sales ID, which I am saying this. If I click on this, you will see like receive values from this topic. This is the most important part. So if you have ticked it on, it means it will be able to get the values from the caller topic, and it will accept it as a variable, as a value to this variable. Just not that, I'm also passing on the value of the sentence, the original value of the input that you have provided here in this variable which I showed you previously. You are passing it on, and here inside this, what I'm doing is that I am calling another prompt. What is this prompt? I'll show you what is this prompt. I have defined, if I close this prompt, I will show you, like here I have created another prompt called create sales order line details. So if I click on this, I'm saying, can you create a JSON out of this user input? So this is where you should be inputting the sales line details. And once again, the date should be in JSON format. And I have captured the variable, this variable called sales line details. I am capturing the user input in this variable. Okay, so what is this variable? You can understand like create a line with item ID this, quantity this, unit price this, unit of measure as this, and you can obviously keep on feeding more and more values to this sample data, so as to keep on adding more and more inputs to the sales line. Okay, so when you have done that, if you come back to this topic, you'll see like here I am calling to this prompt, and I am passing on the input that I'm getting from the user, like the sales line input, and I'm passing this on the sales lines input, and it is basically converting that into a JSON and passing this on again as a prompt, to this power automate input. So I am once again calling another power automate, which is basically going to create the original sales order. Original going to create more times the original sales order. So here I am passing the sales ID and the JSON sales line JSON, which you have just inputted, and the sales order JSON, which is the original sales order values which you have provided. So let me inspect what is inside this Copilot flow. Let me show you what I have designed over here. And I think you can guess this flow is going to be very simple and it's going to be very straightforward. What it's doing is that basically I am receiving the values, these three values which I'm passing on from my issuer topic, like the header, the line, and the sales ID. So the header is the original header input sentence which we created. Why I need this, why I need to pass this on, I will show you why. And you are passing the JSON line, the line components, and the sales ID. Okay, so here in the parse JSON header, basically this parse JSON header, I've copied it out from the headers JSON schema, and this is parse JSON line. This is the JSON schema which I have already copied it out from here. From, if I go to my sales order details, so this is the JSON response which I am getting from here, and inside this the rest part is very simple. I am once again getting hold of the AID token, and I am getting the line number which basically I have, which is the max of line number, the line number which is the maximum of the line number. So this is very simple. Like I am getting the top, I am calling the top equal to 1, which means if I have a bunch of 20 lines and I am once again creating one more line, so when I say top equal to 1, I am going to the last, the max of line number. Okay, and this is exactly going to give me the line number that is created, this line number for this sales order, and then I am parsing the JSON for this line number, which is nothing but this is response, and then I am initializing this variable of the line number, and the body of this line number I am getting this from line number. This value should come like this, and then I am calling finally the sales order line V3, whereby I am again calling this item ID which I am getting from the user input. I am getting the date, I am getting the legal entity, I am getting the warehouse, and I am getting the date once again for the confirmed receipt date. Sales quantity I am also getting, side I am also getting, currency I am also getting, and once again the shipping date I am also getting, the sales price I am also getting, and the last, the line number which I am getting as a variable, I am increasing this as add variables line number comma 1, which means I am, if the last line number is equal to 20, I am saying to set it as 21. So as a result, the line number is going to get increased by 1 and going to get assigned to the sales lines. So this is the sales quantity and the date and everything. I'm done, I'm ready. I'm also passing on the sales ID which I have received from the previous day. So when I've got this, I'm returning back to my Copilot saying that the lines added successfully. So this is where I'm going to go back to my calling topic, and at the end of the topic, what I'm saying is, can you provide the details, and when it is coming back to me, all these details of this Microsoft flow, and this is where I'm responding to the user, like the line got successfully added. Do you want to add more lines? If I say yes, if the user says yes, or user selects OK, so it is once again going to call the same topic, like passing on the sales ID and sales order details. The sales order details is required. Obviously, I think by now you have guessed the reason why, because from here you need to get the original if certain variables. Say for example the customer number you want to get. Say for example you want to get the site, warehouse, all these details. This is where the original sales order number was having all these details. So instead of asking the user again and again these variables, the values of this input, I am passing these sales order details over and again from one topic to another. So as a result, what is happening is I am recursively calling myself, recursively calling this topic and adding lines to the main sales order. And if the user at any given point of time breaks, if the user says, no, I don't want to add any more lines, it is going to come back to me, thank you for using Copilot, talk to you soon, it's nice to interact with you. So these are the various message variations that you can keep on adding. If you can keep on adding like message variations, you can, every time the chat is going to end, it will come with a different context, with a different responsibilities. So with that, let me conclude this. And yeah, I also like to request you to try this at your end and let me know how it goes. You can always reach out to me on my LinkedIn profile, or you can also mail me. You can also give me a nudge on this mail ID, as always there. And if in case you have not already subscribed and subscribe to my channel, please do so. Please share this video to your friends, just to make them aware like how you can use Dynamics 365 for this kind of recursive calling of the Copilot topics, and use them in various kinds of cloud operations. With that, I'm signing off for now. See you soon. Namaste and much love.